Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you to say truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So real quick, I want to point out something that was triggered by this video I saw. But nevertheless, if you look at the headlines of the news, it's all pointing to the same thing right now. And it's like, it's kind of crazy because of, you're starting to have a lot of people, these other nations now are so-called focusing in on Jake's oppression. And they're coming out and standing up about against these things, and a lot of it is coming from, how do you say, the so-called youth, these new millennials or whatever, whatnot. They're, because of how things were, they kind of grew up a little different type of way than their parents or so on and so forth, and all these different things. So they're, and they're teaching a lot of these other things and these, the true narratives about a lot of these lies and these, these strongholds, more or less, to say that they have on our people, but nevertheless, I wanted to point out something real quick here, just real quick, going through these here headlines. You'll see some of these things. It says, U.S. intel complains foreign adversaries are criticizing hypocritical America over George Floyd. Duh. Most Americans think all lives matter is a positive message, yet while we are being told is good, again, all these topics are dealing with this same thing, right? The anti-racism Oscar goes to Hollywood, let me see. Oh, look, there was another one. Oh no, where is it at? Right here. Premier League players have shirts names replaced with Black Lives Matter for the first 12 games. All right. Finland renames Negro Island amid global anti-racism protests. All right. Starbucks bows to online roasting and cancels call changes dress code to declare Black Lives Matter. All right. So as you're starting to see a lot of these different things, here's another one of those protests. They're all a lot of these topics are basically talking about these things, But nevertheless, this here video is going to hit the point, all right? Then we're going to grab a couple scriptures, all right? Let's let this here chick speak.
No!
Yes, there's there's good people.
No!
Most of them just want to suck off the system or do something bad like drugs or gangs. And that's all they do.
They have been oppressed. They have not been given the same opportunities you have had.
And one of the things that you're starting to see here is the divide between, the generation of the parents and then the children's. All right, so now the father is just like a regular Edomite. This is how these Edomites really think about you, Even though they've been taught these false narratives about us or whatever, whatnot, which she's going to kind of go into, even though they have this veil over their eyes and everything like that, now their children are starting to see these things, because this is what they're kind of being taught. But look, they're even becoming, how do I say, enemies with one another, They're starting to break up the so-called household and whatever, whatnot over these things, All right?
And there's plenty of black people.
No, they don't, Dad. And you not recognizing that as an issue is the reason why it's still continuing today.
I see them all over. There's all kinds of successful people that are of color. It doesn't matter what color, brown, white.
But it's a lot harder for them to get to that position.
It doesn't matter. When they do, they're fine. But there's always filthy animals.
He says, hey, when they get rich, they're fine. But as long as they're on the bottom, they're not fine, basically. But that's, what she's pointing out is Esau keeps us in these conditions, all right? But she's about to go through and start breaking down these strongholds. But as you can see, this is that divide in their own household, man. All right?
You're calling people of color black animals. You're calling them animals. Are you kidding me?
You didn't let me finish.
That's not okay. No matter what, that's not okay. No matter what, it's not okay. Racism is not okay. Why do you think that racism is okay?
Oh, that's mine.
Billy, I'm going to look at. No, I'm looking at statistics right now.
Your statistics?
All right, so what they're about to go into is these statistics, which, basically is where I get the premise of this here lesson. All right, because we've all heard these same little lies and everything like that being told and everything like that because of the fact of, they'll have these statistics. Oh, you're more than likely to get raped by a so-called black man or whatever, whatnot. But hey, she breaks it down plain and simple to him. Even a child can understand these things. All right.
They can be warped. Statistics can be warped. You want me to show you videos? Do you want me to show you videos of cops? I will do it.
Statistics wrong?
Because they can be warped. I'm not giving statistics right now. They can be warped. Personal experiences can't.
No, because this is actually putting it into play. When you
Boom, she's already stumped now. She's like, we got statistics. But she's like, yo, I can show you the actuality of these things, you know? It's like trying to walk through in Jake's shoes or whatever, whatnot, see things how we see these things, all right?
A bunch of videos of cops attacking protesters, peaceful protesters.
Listen to this. This is the number.
You mean I'm informed and educated?
You're not, though.
Yes, I am.
You're one-sided informed.
Yes.
Mom, I was watching.
And this is exactly how Esau thinks. The mom says she's one-sided informed, but in reality, the mom is one-sided informed based off of the Edomite brainwashing of how things are. You know, like one of the things they always say that we're 13% of the population. All right, now we know through according to the scriptures, we're the sand of the sea, we're the majority of the planet Earth. But however, when we first came over here, they tell you only 13% of slaves made it to the United States of America. So we've been 13% the whole time. You know what I'm saying? That, come on now. But again, when you look around and you would be able to tell, like, go back to slave days, there was always more slaves on the plantation than there was the Edomites. All right, so you just look at that, you're like, yo, man, we was the majority at that point in time. When you look at us now, we still have more kids on average than these Edomites do, man. They will wind up normally having 1 or 2 kids, where Jake will have 4 or 5 different baby mamas and maybe 1 or 2 kids with each one of them, man. All right?
Watching political stuff, and you said to turn that off because you don't want to hear about it. That means I am educated on it, and you are not.
I'm sick of hearing it.
The fact that you can have that ignorance for the majority is bliss.
Okay.
Ignorance for the minority
So I'm
is
looking at statistics
destruction.
that are wrong. This is just pure wrong information out there.
With no logic, the mom is like, well, I'm looking at information that's wrong. You're trying to tell me the information I'm reading is wrong. Who would give out wrong information? But see, she don't understand. This is the devil that we talking about, right? Now she's going to break it down to her right here.
Just give me the statistic.
In 2017, 457 white people were shot to death by the police in the United States.
Okay.
223 were black.
76% of the population is white. 13% is percent of the population is white. 13% is black.
I get that.
If they were being killed at the exact same rate by police officers, the rate of black people being killed would be 8.9, but it's not. It's 24%. The rate of white people being killed should be about where it is. So they're being killed at a higher rate. There's more white people, meaning that the amount of people killed by cops who are white would be higher.
The reaction of the person.
Boom. So she just cleared up, you know what I'm saying, these laws that basically they've been inherited, you know, because you take a simple person like, yo, if you give 10% of $1 versus 10% of $100, obviously the dollar amount of the 10% off the $100 is going to be a lot more in a dollar amount. But however, you're taking the same percentage out of each one. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, it's the same percent, but nevertheless, this is, not what they're actually looking at, man. All right. So let's, let me see where.
I'm not saying it's,
They're
I'm not
tired.
saying it's
They're tired
right.
of being treated
I'm
that
not
way.
saying it's right.
Good.
But if they started teaching them that this is the world that we live in, you don't want to be killed. Why do you think your friend's father taught him that?
So that his black son doesn't end up dead like Tamir Rice.
Because he doesn't want him to grow up with a chip on his shoulder that
He doesn't want his black son to end.
You don't want him to grow up with a chip. What's the chip? If there is a chip on her shoulder, who put it there? Think about it.
Up dead.
Exactly.
That's not okay. Why do you think that's okay?
Because
Why is this something that you're okay with? Why is that a reality that you're okay with?
I'm okay with it.
But you are.
No, I'm not.
So stand against it. So stand against it. If you're not okay with it, so stand against
When I
it.
stand against it, when the black people in the ghetto stop carrying an illegal weapon, when the black people in the
Okay, what weapon is illegal to have in America? Well, I mean, there are weapons illegal to have in America, but she don't know nothing about Jake, man. Jake do be having some shit in the hood, but for the most part, if Jake, we already know we're not a part of the Constitution and everything like that, but for their sake, they would say that we're all equal and we're all under the same law, whatever, whatnot. Well, according to that, we do have the right to bear arms. We do have the right to protect ourselves. So how is that illegal? You see what I'm saying? So that whole logic just doesn't matter. And she's like, if they would stop selling drugs, who gave them the drugs and took away their resources? Ain't no black person in the world that I know of, and fuck if I know them or if I don't, they don't have the technology nor the resources to produce cocaine. You know what I'm saying? You have to have, I was watching a documentary on this, so you have to have a special type of something like gasoline or whatever, whatnot, to be able to cut and produce this stuff, and which there's a company in America that has the only people with the patent for that thing, you know? So basically, you would need, you know what I'm saying? And basically, the only people that would be big enough to have these things are like oil refinery plants. All right, so ain't no Jake got no oil refinery plant in their backyard. Matter of fact, most Jake ain't even got no backyard. They live in apartments and shit. So come on, man. It ain't our kids with these little meth labs and cocaine labs in the crib and nothing like that, man. But nevertheless, they be like, oh, all this cocaine come over here. Well, who the fuck is buying all the cocaine, man? Jake ain't got no money for that. That's a big misconception about that. Like, yo, Jake ain't really on that shit like that. Jake be selling it, but Jake don't really be on that shit like that. It be these white motherfuckers that be doing that shit all damn day long, man. All right?
Ghetto, stop murdering each other.
I'll start caring about cops when they stop killing
And she said, hey, when they stop murdering each other. Well, what about the white people, man? World War I, World War II? Come on now. Think about it, you know?
black people.
Stop carrying an illegal weapon. When the black people in the ghetto stop murdering each other.
I'll start caring about cops when they stop killing black people.
I'll start caring about black people when they stop killing cops.
That's like a 3-year-old argument. I'll start caring about black people when they start caring about cops or stop killing cops. I'm like, well, black people don't kill the police. You know what I'm saying? In fact, when you go into the scriptures, they talk about, Esau was saying that his punishment was too hard for him to bear, and so, in the Cain and Abel situation. But nevertheless, it was like there's a curse basically saying, hey, man, any man that touch you, he'll get judgment 70 times, man. This is why you see the harsh punishment that comes down on Jake whenever they really do something to these Edomites or whatever, whatnot like that, man. And you don't really have no damn Jakes that's rolling up and just popping no police officers, man. I let you know right now, that's like, because of, first of all, that white image of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? But Jake know better than that, man. All right, and there will be a all out. You have martial law in every hood if that was the case. You have all these cops killing or Jake's killing cops. That don't even happen. That's a 3-year-old argument. I'll start caring about black people when they stop killing cops. Like, where you see black people killing cops at? Where was that ever a problem in America? We're talking about it the other way around. But there's no real argument because why they've been inheriting these laws, man. All right, so let's just jump into the scriptures real quick. It's not gonna be very long. This was all that I could think about when I saw this video, and I'm like, damn. But hey, man, this is what we're coming to right now, man. Where, you're starting to see the breakup of the household on these Edomites, man. Over these same things, man. You have these Edomite women. Now, these young girls like this, they starting to go with Jake men. All right, the Edomite boys is listening to hip-hop and rap and wanting to hang out with all their Jake male friends or whatever. There's plenty of videos of Edomite fathers saying some racist shit to, his Edomite son's Jake friend. And Esau wound up putting his hands on his own daddy. Like, you're not going to talk to him like that. You're going to show him real respect. And he whooped his damn dad's ass, man. I done seen plenty of videos like that, man. So now this is causing that divide in the household between, the mother and the father and the sons and the daughters, with their parents, man. All right. This is Jeremiah 16. I'm gonna just get to the point. 16 and 19, it says, "O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited laws, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit." Hey, and that's kind of twofold because, when you first come into this here truth, you wake up to this here truth, you realize, damn, I've been lied to every day of my life. All right. But this is also happening to these Edomites right now, like we just saw within their children and so on and so forth, man. Like after this whole so-called George Floyd thing, man, you starting to see a lot of these Edomites or whatnot, these people out here actually fighting our cause. They actually bringing out a lot of these truths about these damn Edomites, man. Really, the only people that's not with the program is 2/3 of our people and, these Edomites' parents and so on and so forth, man. But nevertheless, hey, man, the younger ones, hey, they out there, they kind of with this shit, So it says, Jeremiah 16 and 19 again, it says, "O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things whereas there's no profit." So as the mother was trying to break down these statistics and so on and so forth, with a little common sense, the daughter would be like, okay, well, yeah, well, they took 10% out of everybody's paycheck or out of everybody's bank account. He had $100 million in his bank account, and he only had $100 in his bank account. Of course, they took a larger dollar amount out of the person with $100 million out of his bank account, but they took the same percentage amount out. You know what I'm saying? If they had the same amount of money, they both had $100 in their account. They still took the same 10%. They would both want to, come up off the same amount of money. All right. So these are all lies and these things. Or they stopped selling drugs to each other, killing the police. I'm like, yo, wait, who's telling you these bullshit lies about us, man? Telling you, Jake are all rapists and everything like that. Jake all, they all got AIDS and everything. There's so many different horrible things I done heard from, these Edomites and everything like that, man. And especially growing up. When I was a child growing up, I was born in Atlanta, and I moved down here when I was into Florida, like when I was maybe like 12 or 13, right? Now, however, when I was growing up in Atlanta, I didn't even really know what the hell a white person was. It wasn't really no white people out there like that, right? But then you come down here, and then you get to it like multi, diversity or whatever, whatnot, and then you start talking to some of these Edomites or whatever, whatnot, and then, they'll start telling you certain things or whatever, whatnot. I'm like, oh, my parents think that this, and my parents think that, and my parents say this about that. And I'm like, where do y'all get this shit from? We all on drugs. We all got AIDS. We all are rapists. We're going to steal everything. But nah, we got enough money to buy up all the shit up in here. Where would y'all get that from? We got jobs over here or whatever, whatnot, But nevertheless, these are these laws that they've been inheriting. But now the wool is being pulled off of their eyes, man. They're starting to see that we're actually better off than, than in every aspect of all these different things they try to categorize us in. But they also have to understand, like, well, they also have a weight on their back. You say that they don't have jobs and this and that. It's not that they're lazy. You don't give them no opportunities. But if you do give them opportunities, they seem to excel in all these areas. Or you say that they're uneducated or whatever, whatnot, but then you put them into a certain type of educational program or a certain type of school and give them the right tools, they wind up excelling over everybody else, man. So these are all lies that you're actually telling them, man. All right? So we go from there to the book of Job. Job 20, and I'm gonna read 10 through 13. It says Job 20 and 10, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. And so right now, and just spiritually speculating on a lot of these things, looking at their children, obviously, the generations are going down like that, but these children are, some of them could have been the same ones that actually had us in captivity, and now they're kind of waking up to it and kind of like, yo, wait a minute, I see this. I see this with a lot of these older Edomites that I have to go to for my job and whatever, whatnot, and how their countenance is all changing. I'm like, damn, I wonder if the Most High done opened up their damn mind and start realizing the shit that they've been doing, and they're about to get that judgment for that, man, and starting to see, things more clearly now. They starting to have a little more remorse or whatever, whatnot, But nevertheless, you're starting to see a lot of these people. Like I said, I get a lot of these Edomites in my job trying to give me food, money, all kind of shit. Literally, all kind of shit, man. You would be surprised. But nevertheless, now with their children, all right, their children are trying to just come up off a whole lot of different things. Hey, they need this, they need that. This is why you're starting to see a lot of these so-called things being changed, like those articles we were going through with the Starbucks dress code and this and that. There was somewhere else I heard that they was like one of these colleges or whatever, whatnot. They was like, yo, I think that you should exempt black folks from taking these exams because of the traumatic shit that's going on right now, and they don't have time for all this. And they specifically just said for the black kids, Then what happened was, the fact of the matter was, the teacher was like, nah, we can't do that or whatever, whatnot. That would kind of just be, that wouldn't be equal or whatever, whatnot. They wound up suspending that damn professor and probably going to fire his ass. And the school made a statement saying, look, we don't stand for no bullshit like that, man. We should give these, they pretty much let the Jake kids not have to take their exams, man. All right. So now you're starting to see how this is starting to change hands now. Instead of just saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that mentality, or you guys can do better than that. That whole mentality is starting to fade away now, especially with the younger ones now. They're starting to see, things a little different, It says his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust, And so like the parents, you were seeing these things, they have these same ideologies in their minds from when they were young kids or whatever, whatnot, man. There's a lot of these Edomites that are old people right now, whatever, whatnot. These old ladies that's never really been around Jake, and they have the mindset that like, oh, I thought you all had AIDS, or you all are all rapists or whatever, whatnot. They ain't never been around Jake a day in their life, man. But they've always been scared because of the lies that they've been told from their parents, Verse 12, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned, and his gall and abscess within him. But nevertheless, the point there was the fact that, the younger generations are now starting to seek out change and things like that for Jake's oppression, man. Well, ultimately, it's not going to stop them from going into captivity or getting their judgment. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful thing seeing this whole climate change to the point where, just speaking to a couple of Jake, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a little weird and kind of freaked out, that all these people just all of a sudden being nice to you now. You're just trying to mind your business and they trying to go all out of their way to just to be nice to you or whatever, whatnot. Hey, can we take your groceries out to your car or whatever? We're like, yo, it's storming outside, right? Y'all don't never ask me to take my groceries out. I only bought some Publix chicken or some shit. It's only one bag. Yeah, but we can take it out, no problem. Like, all right, I guess, But hey, this is going to be their role in the future anyway. They're going to be servicing to us anyway, man. All right? We're going to close out here. I love reading this right here. Wisdom of Solomon 5. All right? Let me start at Wisdom of Solomon 5:3. It says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, a proverb, and a reproach. Because ultimately, this is how these elites, and he's just not just the elites, but these other people that are kind of brainwashed to these things. Like, for instance, in that video, the parents, one day when they wake up to see that all the shit that they've been told was all lies, these are all things that they've been putting on Jake, been slandering their names the whole time, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, wait, like kind of with the Arabs, they'll tell you, oh, these people are terrorists, they're all, they just a wild bunch or whatever. And I'm like, yo, you ever live next to Muslims? Like, yo, these people are they don't argue, they don't yell and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? They pray like 5 times a day, they're real quiet, and they be in order, and they're very family oriented. They don't really be out doing shit. Like, so if anything, those would be the best neighbors to really have. You ain't got to worry about them having fucking parties every night of the week, making all kind of noise and just being nasty and stuff like that next door, But nevertheless, the picture that's been painted over those people, oh, they might blow some stuff up or whatever, whatnot, Same thing with Jake, man. But now these lies are being washed away from us now, man. All right. So it says, and they repented and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. And this is what I believe that the sentiment this is going on in a lot of these Edomites right now. Like I said, with the elderly Edomites, some of the old Edomites, they're just like coming out of the woodwork with all kind of like, trying to, like the scripture say, please the poor, man. They got these gifts or whatever, whatnot, trying to so-called make some kind of atonement or whatever, whatnot, But then you have these younger Edomites that are out here trying to protest, not the paid protesters, but you actually have some of them out here standing up with their own voice, like this girl in this video or whatever, whatnot, and educating people on these laws has been perpetrated against us, man. All right. Verse 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. Just like, the younger Edomite chick in that video, let's just say she grew up with the ideology that her parents had, you know what I'm saying? And then went to school, got educated, was actually friends with some Jakes and started seeing certain things and seeing how they were versus the Edomites or whatever, whatnot. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. The shit that y'all was telling us about these people ain't actually true. These people are very compassionate people, very artistic and creative people. These people, they the salt of the earth. They get a whole earth flavor, man. Without them, we wouldn't be nothing, man. These people gave us everything that we got. We should be actually honoring these people, man. So this is now, what's going on, this change is going on inside of their minds, man. It says, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High and is lot among the saints? All right. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shone unto us, and the sun of righteousness has not rose up unto us. All right. Going back into it, what the young girl was saying, she was like, oh, those statistics can be warped. Yeah, we see the statistics, and yeah, in an ideal world, you would have these research organizations or whatever, whatnot, and they're purely doing this for straight facts, and they wouldn't try to skew the statistics or whatever, whatnot. But these things are all made up to slander Jake, man. Because if you was just to look with your naked eye, you would be able to behold the glory. Like, look how trodden down and destroyed we are, but yet look how much we provide for the earth, man. All right, look at how everything is these Edomites enjoy the life that they live off the backs of Jake, man. Whether it be building up their houses, their roads, sports, entertainment, all these different things. But we so destroyed, and yet they live a good life based off of, the scriptures say, any nation that bless you, they're going to be blessed or whatever, whatnot. And the ones that curse you are going to be cursed, All nations going to be blessed within you, We in captivity over here, and we wind up giving them everything that they got, man. That's why they all sad over, sports entertainment going down right now. And we're like, oh, man, they hate niggas until it's time for football to come on. Then they love them, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, like, nah, man, wait a minute. These statistics and these things that we've been inheriting, they're all lies, man. All right? Verse 6 again, Wisdom of Solomon 5:6. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shone unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We weird ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through the deserts where there lay no way. But for the way of the Lord we have not known it. Would have profited us, or would have riches with our vaunting brought us. All right. And so just like the father was saying, well, when they get rich or whatever, whatnot, they're better off. But as long as they're in the scum and they just want to sell drugs and want to keep killing cops, and like, yo, bro, y'all are going through this basically this way of destruction, man. This basically you going down a damn, you know, you following a path, but this path is leading you to nowhere, man. You just going further out to the damn desert. There ain't no water that way. But you know, it's this way. Yeah, bro, but you're going way far off of missing the target, man. You've came up with all these lies about us and all these different things, and now it's hard for you people to see, man. But this is ultimately, you know, separating the households of these Edomites, man. All right, so the whole Edomite kingdom and their whole structure is falling, man. Because when you look at what happened to Jake, man, they destroyed the household, man. All right, that's the foundation of everything. The scripture says, man shall leave his mother and his father and be joined into his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. All right, this is where you have the foundations of everything from, you know, a family, man. This is why they destroyed the father out the household and destroyed the whole family, man. All right, but now this is what these curses are now falling upon Esau, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth, and I rule well. And citation of much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong, shalom.